What's happening, everybody? It's B Van Randall, the Ghetto Nerd. Um, I just wanted to take a minute to make a video. It's been a minute since I made one. Really haven't had much to talk about, uh, but I did recently come across some information online in relation to. Well, I've been hearing a lot of people talking about this NFL player that made a comment about how black women are uncoachable and how uh, white women made better wives for successful athletes. Now, I think I got a few of the comments here. The comments, he came in and said, the answer is simple, brother. Most of the sisters were raised in broken homes, and they don't have proper guidance to how they should treat a man, so they mess up a lot in relationships. The bigger difference is a white woman knows her position and accepts her role as a woman and let her man lead. Black woman believes it's 50-50, and you have to be uneducated to ever think such a thing. Black women are stubborn, closed-minded, and always want to argue and be the boss. Uh, he goes on to say a few more completely ignorant and inflammatory things about so-called black women. Um, and plus a ton of typo and grammatical errors, and the irony in saying someone is uneducated with such bad grammar. But anyway, you know, we all know that these statements are completely ridiculous. The problem is that, first of all, when you bring up an issue like poverty or coming from a broken home, and you say that this is the precursor or the reason why black women, so-called black women, are less desirable when it comes to making them a wife because, X, Y, and Z, well, then you have to say, and you have to know that, poverty or broken homes is something that is not specifically relatable to so-called black people. This is something that you deal with Latinos, with Latinas, something you deal with so-called white people, something you deal with so-called Asian people, and so on and so forth. So this is not just a specific black issue, and it's damn sure not a specific gender issue. If you're going to say that black women come from majority broken homes, then you have to look at the fact that, relatable to that most black men will come from broken homes as well. And as nonsensical as this whole rhetoric is that's being presented, if you look at it, then and its relatability, then black men coming from such broken homes would make not good husbands. If we're going to go with that logic, as ridiculous as that logic is, and as nonsensical as it is, so you're saying that black men are not good husbands as much as you're saying black women won't make good wives. This type of idea, this type of rhetoric, we have to start to completely detest, despise, and we have to not accept it any longer. This blanketed, demonizing and belittling and degrading of people based upon their skin color. Blanketing statements about women, particularly so-called black women, based upon their skin color. You're going to deem them as unfit or not as good of partners to make your wife. We have to stop. We can no longer accept it. I tell people all the time, man, you want to know what white supremacy looks like? This is white supremacy, the statement that I just read to you. Even though it's coming from the mouth of a so-called black man, it's white supremacy, it's white superiority, it's white privilege, it's all of it. Ideas like this help to fuel and help to give power to those notions that someone is better based off of something as superficial and as mundane as their skin color. It's absolutely preposterous. And so one of the things I just want to say is, first of all, we need to be honest. I think if these dudes were just honest about what it is that they're doing, I think that it would be a little bit, received a little bit better. I think it would still anger certain people, but be honest. Basically, tell it like it is. You're attracted to certain types of people, certain types of women. You're attracted to a certain look, and that's what you want, and that's fine. If that's what you want, go for it. But don't degrade so-called black women because that is what you're attracted to. If that's what you're attracted to, go for it. Now, let me give my disclaimer, my caveat here is that, I don't care who people date. I don't care. I don't care if a so-called black man ends up with a so-called white woman. I don't care if a so-called black man is with a so-called Asian woman, or if a so-called black woman is with a so-called white man. None of that matters to me. I really don't care. It means nothing to me. It doesn't bother me. What bothers me is that when someone, because of their own maybe guilt or how they feel about how they want to be with someone that it doesn't look like them or that is not relative to them, then they want to demonize or degrade or talk negatively about this particular group of women. And I'm tired of it. I'm sick of it. As a man, as a so-called black man raising people that will one day be adopted under the title of black, I would be remiss to not mention this stuff. I would be remiss to not feel this way. I'm raising a little girl who's going to be identified as a black woman one day. And the idea and the notion is just completely ridiculous. I mean, I know women. I know personally black women who are very accommodating to their husbands, almost to the point of their own fault and to their own demise. My mother was one of them. My mother was completely accommodating for my dad all the way up until the day she died. She, put up with a lot of stuff from him, stuff that she probably didn't deserve. But she stayed loyal and dutiful and all of the above that people like to label as being a proper wife or whatever you want to call it. But these dudes just need to be honest. Like, this is what you want. Go after it. That doesn't mean that you have to degrade the black woman because you want a white woman. Stop looking for an excuse. Oh, I'm dating these women because these women are this way. Dude, it's just what you want. Okay? Another thing is, all women should be offended by statements like this. This should not just be a black woman fight. This should be a white woman fight. This should be an Asian woman fight. Because what this statement says is that if you are a so-called white woman and you end up with a black man of status or with money, you're going to be expected to act in a subservient manner. You're going to be expected to act as a slave. And the moment that you decide to raise up or have any kind of opinion of your own, you are going to be looked at as something is wrong because you are supposed to be meek, you're supposed to be mild, you're supposed to be obedient, right? Because that's what he said. You're supposed to be coachable. I mean, I went to school around people that are so-called white. I worked around people that are so-called white. I have friends. I have coworkers. I see their interactions with their wives. I see how people who identify as white interact with each other. And it's a myth. This idea that black women are these mean, aggressive women and unmanageable, it's all a myth. I see so-called white men literally bowing to what their wives want. And their wives can be very demanding at times, but it just hurts my heart that these ideas are continuing to be perpetuated by a majority of what seems to be black men. More than anything. And we have to stop it, man. It's irresponsible. It's completely irresponsible to continue to put videos out, to continue to spew social media, especially when you have a platform as big as some of these people have. When you with great power comes great responsibility, man. You got to do better. You got to do better. And we can no longer tolerate it. We can no longer sit back and accept it and act like that this is something that's okay. Stop dragging black women through the mud. It's a lie. It's a myth. All women are emotional. All women get angry. Some women are passive. Some are very aggressive. It doesn't have anything to do with their skin color. So this hard to manage black woman syndrome in theory, you know, man, it does no one any good, especially so-called black people. And the idea needs to die. The notion needs to die. The suggestion needs to die. Just man up and say what it is you want. Man, I want a white woman. I've been around black women my entire life. I'm used to them. They don't do anything for me. I don't feel that they're exotic. You know, I don't agree with it. I think that, again, is a very superficial idea, you know. But if that's what you want, then just say that, man. But don't think that because that's what you want now, in order to, you got to give this explanation. And the reason why you're doing this is because, oh, black women are bad. They don't know how to take care of their man. And come on, man. Come on. We cannot continue ideas like this. It's irresponsible. You know, it's no one should be willing to accept an idea like that. And again, like I say, black women should be offended, white women should be offended. The whole idea of it is just completely idiotic, misogynistic, and it's just completely preposterous, man. So, you know, I just wanted to drop that line real quick, man. I probably talked a little bit longer than I should have, but that was really, you know, hitting home with me. I hear it a lot, and I'm just tired of hearing it. I'm just tired of seeing it get regurgitated and recycled through, just in different forms, man. Stop attacking black women, y'all. They're no worse or no better than any other woman out there. You know, there's beauty in every woman. There's certain traits in every woman, in every race. Those traits are unanimous across the board, man. You're going to get those same traits, whether she's a Latina, whether she's a white woman, whether she's a black woman. Those traits are going to exist, all right? And stop giving women credit for being obedient to men who are rich already. You know, yeah, these women are acting a certain way. You're coming into the situation. You're a rich man. You've built an empire. People tend to act differently when you've already built something. Have you even given the black woman a chance to act as subservient or wherever you think is the way to act? Have you even given a so-called black woman a chance to behave in that way? You know, a lot of people, even men will act a certain way if a woman has money or is wealthy, you know, than they would with just a regular woman. So you really can't gauge that. You can't say that they're acting proper or acting more like a lady or a wife. They're acting like somebody who doesn't have anything, who's married to somebody or getting with somebody who has it all. So maybe they might tread lighter. I know I would as a man with a woman who had a lot going on. Somebody with superstar status or something. I'm sure men act differently with women like that when they don't have anything. So, all right, man. All right. Enough preaching, man. I just wanted to holler at y'all, man. The Ghetto Nerd. I'll be back. I'll try to post some more videos more frequently just to share my thoughts if you guys want to hear it. You know, this is just me ranting. But sometimes, man, stuff just needs to be said. And people, black women, just need to know that everybody's not on this bullshit. Everybody don't believe that nonsense. It's nonsense. It's nonsensical. And we just need to kill it. It needs to die. All right? All right. So, continue to follow me. Got new stuff. Look out for new videos, all that stuff, man. I'll holler with y'all as soon as I got some more thoughts on the mind. All right? B. Van Randall, y'all. Peace and blessings to all of you. Okay?